Good morning, children. Today you will be learning about the cropping patterns in India. So you learned about what are food crops you learned, what is fiber crop you learned, what are beverage crops, plantation crops, etc. you have learned. So today you will be dealing with the different cropping seasons. So we are having 3 cropping seasons. Our cropping seasons are divided into 3. They are Rabi, Kharif and the Zaid cropping season. So Rabi crop, it is harvested in winter, that means from October to December, and harvested in the month of summer, that is from April to June. The crops grown are wheat, barley, peas, gram, mustard, etc. And the states where this Rabi crops are being grown include Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, then Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, etc. So all these are the areas where Rabi crops are being grown. So Rabi is a crop that is sown in winter and harvested in the month of summer. That means it is it's a winter crop. It is it is grown or it is sown from October to December and harvested from April to June. So next is the Kharif crop. It is usually sown in the onset of monsoon, that is in the month of June and July, and harvested from harvested in the month of September and October. Now primarily the crops grown include paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, cotton, then soya beans, groundnut, etc. So the areas where it is grown include Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, then Karnataka, Assam, etc. Now the last one is Zaid crops. It's a short season crops where vegetables and fruits are being grown, and it is mainly sown during the summer months. Now with irrigation facilities they are being sown in different seasons. So examples of Zaid crop include watermelon, muskmelon, then cucumber, then different types of vegetables, etc. So these are the cropping patterns or cropping seasons divided into 3: Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. So learn it, it's very important also. Now moving on to the features of Indian agriculture. What are the features of Indian agriculture? So you can, when you talk about agriculture, you can say about lots of features related to agriculture. The first and the foremost one that you can say is that the pressure of population on agriculture is very high. Even though industrial sector is going on developing, the pressure of population depending on agriculture is even now more, and that is why agriculture comes under the primary sector. Now even forest areas, fallow lands, etc. are being now cut clear and utilized for the purpose of doing agricultural work, because the pressure of population on agriculture is going on increasing. Now another feature is soil erosion. You had learned what is soil erosion. Erosion, you know what is soil erosion. There are different agents of soil erosion like wind, water, etc. So it takes away the topmost layers of soil, decreasing the fertility of soil. So that is also another feature. And then another one is lack of modern methods. Even though science and technology is going on improving, even now there are areas where people use outdated technologies of production, which result in the low productivity in agriculture. Now the government has resorted to various means to improve the productivity from agriculture. So the government has introduced a green revolution, which includes the distribution of high yielding varieties of seeds, then fertilizers are distributed, pesticides are being given, then loan facilities are being provided to the farmers in order to access high yielding varieties of seeds and fertilizers, etc. So even though such facilities are available, agriculture is not free from crop disease and pest. So this result in low productivity from agriculture. Then even though a lot of developments are there, there is no reasonable price for the agricultural products. Now even though infrastructure is developed, there are lots of inadequacy in the means of transport and communication facilities. Now another feature is that even though they are able to increase the productivity, the storage facility for storing these agricultural products are very limited. Then there is lack of irrigation facilities also. Then the size of holdings is also very less. That means a person who holds land, or the amount of land that a person holds is very less because of the law of inheritance, right to law of inheritance. So, all these are the features of Indian agriculture. Now, next is what are the reform measures adopted by the government, and this topic is also very important. Several times this question is being asked. What are the technical and institutional reform measures adopted by the government? So, one of the important measure adopted is collective farming. What do you mean by collective farming? So, collective farming means small fields of small farmers are joined together and agricultural work is being done collectively on this farm with the approval of these small farmers. So, that when small farm areas are collected together and farming is being done, they are able to use modern techniques of production. Even machinery can be adopted. So, thereby they can increase the productivity from agriculture. So, that is called collective farming. Next is consolidated land holdings. That means land that is being scattered here and there are brought together and for the purpose of doing agriculture. That is called consolidation of land holdings. Then zamindari system was also abolished. The zamindari system, you know, zamindars, earlier we had our land was under the control of big landlords called zamindars, and people used to work under these zamindars, which came to be called as the zamindari system. So, such a system of practice was being totally abolished. That is called as zamindari system. So, zamindari system, there was an abolition of zamindari system as per rules and regulations. Then green revolution, another reform measure introduced was the introduction of green revolution and white revolution. You had learned what is green revolution, and white revolution means it is increasing the productivity of milk. You also call it as Operation Flood. So, that was also another measure initiated by the government in order to increase the productivity of agriculture. Then in 1980s and 90s, comprehensive land development programs were initiated or implemented by the government. A lot of schemes were brought about by the government introducing crop insurance, then Grameen, a lot of banks were being set up mainly for giving loan facilities to the people, to give credit to the farmers. Then cooperative societies were being set up where the farmers could sell their produce. Then Kisan credit cards, which you call as KCC, Kisan credit cards were also introduced. Then PAYS, which you call as personal accident insurance schemes. So, this scheme was also started by the government for helping the farmers. Then weather bulletins were being put forward so that they could forecast weather. Then other than that, a lot of agricultural programs were telecasted through medias, so that people could become aware of the reform measures that are put forward by the government. Then minimum support price. Minimum support price was being introduced. That means the government had introduced or the government is giving a pre-announced price in order to help the farmers. So, all these schemes or reform measures were being introduced by the government in order to help or in order to uplift agriculture. So, this is very important, you have to learn it, technical and institutional reform measures adopted by the government. Now, what are the contributions of agriculture? What are the contributions that agriculture has given to you? So, we have discussed a lot of topics related to agriculture. So, from the discussion find out what are the contributions that agriculture has given you. Thank you.